flight. Okay, flight has been a constantly evolving part of the game, but currently there are 2 flight modes. Well, 3 if you count the 2 under one-handed. So one thing to point out is you're going to have difference between what you'll see when you're on the ground and what you'll see when you're over clouds. So I'm going to try to stay on the ground for right now. Now I use one-handed. Now you choose your control scheme using the gear menu and the control. And you can select one-handed, two-handed, and if you tap two-handed, you can flip the sides that the scheme that you do whichever. I'm going to try to remember to go through both. I use one-handed, so two-handed is not my strength. But the basics are, okay, so the basics are, in one-handed mode, if you just tap on the screen and press and hold, you get a little D-pad. This is the D-pad. Now, you can basically go any direction. You can go fast or slow, depending on how much you move your finger. And you can also just kind of go around in circles and that's just using the D-pad. This D-pad works both in the air and on the ground. In the air in closed wing mode and on the ground. To have a little bit different kind of movement, if you tap at your character's feet, you will get this. I want to make sure you can see it. You get this little hula hoop. This is the hula hoop. And this basically lets you take single steps, very controlled, and spin in circles. So you can like just turn around on a small space, on a small pillar or something. Okay, so this just gives you easier small movement. And that one is not usable in the air. Now for flight, if you press and hold anywhere on the screen, again this is one-handed mode, press and hold anywhere on the screen, you will fly up. And you'll see this little icon comes up on the side of the screen. What we are right now in is closed wing mode, and that's what you are on. You are defaulted on the ground, is closed wing mode. But this means I use the D-pad to basically drag my character around where I want her. I usually use my finger, which is why I always do, because I do one-handed. But you fly up and then you just drag your character around. The thing is, when I let go, whoops, she did fly a little bit. I think because I had a lot of times if you let go when you're in this mode, you will just fall like that. Okay, so that's what this is. It's D-pad. So it's D-pad. If you stop, you stop. So if you fly with the D-pad, if you stop, you fall. Also, if you if you go raise and fly and pull down, you're going to fall, or reverse direction in that case, or you will go straight down. So this is a way to kind of land on something you want to land on, because I can stop in midair, stop, and fall. Okay, and that's the beauty of this control scheme, this control is you can fly just where you want to go and then stop and fall. Now in open wing mode, let me get some charge. In open wing mode, what you do is you tap the button and you'll see a difference. If I go lift and then open, I fly. And this way I can also, whoops, I have creatures, so that didn't help very much. Okay, in this mode I can also go back into that. I can also dive. So in the other mode, pulling down made me fall. See, I've switched. It switched me as soon as I hit the ground. So if I'm like this and I go down, I dive. And I'm back in that again. If I'm in this and go down, I fall. All right, so that is the basic differences between those two modes. Wow. Now, one thing is if you want to go over clouds, it's going to switch you automatically to open wing mode. So once I'm in clouds, I'm in open wing mode. I'm going to dive. And it does this automatically. But those are the basics of movement. Obviously, it can take a lot of getting used to and a lot of practice to be able to really fly efficiently and effectively where you want to go. But the most important thing is when this button is your thing. Here it's in closed wing mode because you have open wing to tap, And then once you tap it, you can tap it again to get back into. So it's just a tap. It's not really a press and hold. It's just a tap to change the mode. Okay, so I did indeed forget to do two-handed mode, so here we go. On another character, I'm on my phone now because it just makes more sense on a smaller screen. Now, some people do two-handed on a iPad, and if you're comfortable doing that, that's fine. It's just not comfortable for me. But anyway, to change modes, I'm going to go up here and do my control two-handed, and you can either do this side to look around or this side to look around. And I think I'm going to be more comfortable doing it flipped, so that look around is on this side. Although maybe gotta decide what feels more natural to me. Nope, I think it's this side. I do think it's this side. Okay, this is this side for movement, this side for camera. Okay, and so I'm using both hands. Now, for the most part, things are going to stay the same. The one difference between these is on two-handed, you got this this button here, which is basically letting you jump ahead, or it lets you take off and fly. This is just going to move you. So now you have your D-pad on whichever side you have movement on. So here's your D-pad for movement. You're still going to have your, I wonder if you can still zoom by using two fingers. This is true on both. Zoom by using two fingers. Zoom in and out. Pinching, just like you do on other apps. And you're still going to have your hula hoop at your feet. Oops, you don't need to use two fingers for camera now. It's just one finger for camera. And then this is your moving ahead, moving forward and jumping. And of course you can also do it here. The thing is, on this, you're not going to tap and fly. You're not going to do anything if you press and hold. Flying is this. So that's this button right here, is flying. So that's your only place you can actually fly, is by using that button. Now, just like in the other though, you're going to have, you can't see it on this. Okay, wait, let me change so you can see it. You're still going to have your button here for which mode you want to be in. So this is your control scheme, but you still have open wing and closed wing mode. So you can run around using the D-pad. You can tap and hold your feet. To me, it's just convoluted way to play. I guess you can do, yeah, tap and hold your feet, and then like I said, this is not my normal, so. And then to use that, you use this to fly. And you can do the same things. You can use the D-pad to fly in the air. So if you're controlled movements, if you want to stop and drop, that's how you do it. Stop and drop, that's how you do it. And then if you want to just take off and fly, you go like this and hit your mode for open. And again, you can only fly by pressing this. So this is your flight button. You've just got a button to fly, unlike in one-handed where you can use any part of the screen to fly. In two-handed, you have the button is what is your fly. And again, just like in others, if once you're over clouds, you are in open wing mode. And this is much more controller-like. And so if you like to use your device as a controller, and of course you could change modes in flight too, so you can be flying around in open wing, then change it to closed wing when you actually want to drop. So it's all very, I mean, once you get used to it, it might take some practice, but once you get used to it, the two-handed mode can be really nice for a more controller-like thing. For me, it's just fingers have to be in such specific places. It's not as, I can't think as quickly this way, whereas in one-handed, I have more freedom. Two-handed might offer you a little more control, though, and it just depends on what you're comfortable with and what you're used to. Like I said, it's actually very nice if you're used to using a controller, because it's kind of like those controller display things, just like the D-pad is, like a controller there. So Anyway, it's up to you, obviously your choice, and of course you can always switch sides. Whoops, I picked the wrong one. Switch sides if you'd be more comfortable in the other way. So that now your camera is on this side, your button for flight is on this side, and of course this is also going to be on this side. So those are your flight modes and flight controls.